If I was a bird, I would soar high above the clouds with my wings stretched out wide, the sun glistening off the spectrum of colors. I would drift way down, far below the clouds, just to feel the spray of the cold ocean breeze, letting the wind separate my feathers, and I would dance under the gaze of the moonlight. When I grow tired, I would rest among the trees until night carries me away to deep slumber. Wherever my wings take me, I am home. I yearn to feel as light as a bird, to breathe deeply, and remove the weight of the world off my shoulders. Life would not be so heavy if I were just born a boy. Yep, that's right. I was born a girl. At least that's what it says in my birth certificate. But who am I really? When I was a little girl, I would swing as high as I could go on the big rusty swing set in the backyard. I would look out over the purple desert hills and imagine I was riding the heat waves on a surfboard to another world. I would dream that the cactus and endless bushes led to the gateway of some other dimension, where life just held secrets to who I really was. As I swung as high as the swing would take me, I would close my eyes, and when I would reach that brief pause of weightlessness, I would just let go. In that moment, as I sailed through the air, I would dream that I was flying to anywhere but here. I dreamt of a day that I could travel to faraway lands and experience the array of colors and cultures the other world had to offer. Maybe the answers would be out there, far beyond here. The answers that would tell me where I fit. But the box I was issued, the one all stamped and ready to go, the box that said I was a small town girl, meant to have a simple life and just be happy to be me, well, that was not my box, because it didn't have my name on it. I wish it was as easy as finding a message in a bottle, one that washes in the ocean shores and carries the answers to who I am. But transition of any kind is never that easy. If I told you that I transitioned from being a girl and arrived at some recognizable state of being, someone I could define back then, I was lying. As that little girl, I felt like I was trapped inside the shell of someone else's life. I was a goldfish with the spirit of a whale, peering out at onlookers, staring back at me in judgment that I would never be anything more than that goldfish. Throughout my journey of self-discovery, I tried to fit in the box that I was issued. I trod on many hats: wife, mother, daughter, sister, woman, and honestly none of them fit. And on that cold November night in 2003, I shaved my head and hoped that any signs of femininity would fall, like the hair that collect on the floor, pieces of me, like clippings of an old oak tree. Does a tree die when it loses its leaves? I flew from my box, and I proclaimed myself as a lesbian, a dyke, a stone butch that could conquer the world as a soldier, a military police officer, a label that my parents and I could be proud of. It didn't matter which uniform or hat I wore, because in the eyes of the others, I was just a queer, a fag, an abomination, a disease. It was disgusting. Unfortunately, the change in my hat changed people's ability to see me as a mother. As that judge looked at me through the little plexiglass hole in the courthouse, looking down her nose in judgment, the words she spoke sent shockwaves and electricity through my body. No lesbian has the right to raise her child. Now get the fuck out of my courthouse and don't you ever come back. It would be 5 years before I saw my daughter ever again. Anger, rage, passion. Feelings of turmoil turned to a spirit for change and advocacy. I became an advocate for the LGBTQ+ rights, leader of the pack, creator and innovator of the model for change. As I searched for resources to help me, I found none. Years of locked doors led me to the key holder and resource I have always looked for. And for 17 years, I have tried on and have worn every hat that the LGBTQ plus community has to offer. Yet, I still don't feel like I had found the box that fit me. Well, I started hormones to make my outsides match my insides. I took the leap, not knowing how life would turn out. I hoped that I could find the answers to fill the emptiness in my soul. In the depth of my sorrow and feelings of hollowness, my inner child cried out from beneath the depths of my core. The most vulnerable I could ever feel is to be visible for who I am. You see, in order to know me, you must know this about me. You must know I am not male or female. I am something else entirely. As the first transgender person to transition openly in northern Arizona more than 10 years ago, I earned a title of a hero. I was a leader, so everything had to be peachy. I couldn't let anyone know that inside I was fighting a war, an internal war clouded with fear, loneliness, isolation. Nobody warned me what it would be like to go through male puberty and female menopause at the same time. Now, all that passion of the girl I was changing into a lonely, pained man. In the darkest hours of age 15 all over again, I locked myself away into a deep and hollow shell, my world changing all around me, passing by like a whisper flowing through a canyon of shame and despair. I anguished in pain and regret, yearned for a light at the end of the tunnel, a light that would lead me to the garden of my dreams. In the depth of my sorrow, I found strategies to cope. Ambition became my addiction. To feed my addiction, I wrote. I wrote in the morning, waking up early to smell the sweet nectar from my flowers, symbols of growth and prosperity. I would write in the afternoon, breaking for a sandwich, returning to the depths of my cave to write more. I would pour my first of many drinks by 5 p.m. and return to write, typing away at the speed of light, just to meet some impossible deadline, a deadline that came most nights at 4 a.m. During those dark days, I wrote. I wrote a landmark case that was heard at the Supreme Court. I wrote a policy changing city and state ordinances to protect the LGBTQ plus people. I wrote my own child custody case, and after 5 years, I became the first transgender person to be awarded full custody of my child. And in that moment of victory, there was no time to celebrate, because I was smack in the middle of writing a master's thesis. For another 9 months, I would lock myself away to write about the crazy acts against transgender people who are incarcerated. And one-of-a-kind, 187-page masterpiece, an untouched topic that revealed atrocities that will forever be etched in my mind. Well, I finished my thesis on my 30th birthday, swearing that I would never write again. Years of writing had surrounded me with the words and stories of others, everyone else but myself. I had moved into a box that I just did not recognize. A new hollow shell, ready to be filled with the characteristics of something that I should represent. Nothing knew me, and I didn't know myself. For the next few years, I floundered through a lonely abyss, attempting to collect the pieces of myself and discover new parts. Then, at my lowest point, I found myself. It was in this lowest space that there was a convergence, a joining together of my parts, a unification of rationality and emotion. One person, the realization that I am something and someone else entirely. On my journey to self-discovery, I discovered my garden, my special place where I could go to center. In my secret garden, there was a tree that holds the secrets of the greatest thinkers that have ever existed. The view from the limbs tell a story of many that came before me. The path to get to the tree is hidden behind an old oak tree and a stone wall, buried beneath the debris of life. The long path leads to a mystical place where birds sing sweet songs and dance among the butterflies. Beyond the beauty, resting on the slope of a mountain, is one lone tree. A huge tree with years of roots emerging from the ground and limbs stretching yards beyond the massive mahogany trunk. I step on to the highest emerging root to reach for the lowest branch. Dents and marks, the weather scars on its limbs, visible impurities that prove life is not perfect. I am careful not to look out beyond the tree because I wish to savor this moment. How did I get here? Am I to share with the tree to others that have come before me? Or am I to sit in silence and listen to the lessons the tree yields? I sit in prayer and I ask, God, please grant me the patience to hear your message, the wisdom to understand, and the strength to embody your vision for me. Allow me to see what you brought me to see. Bless me with integrity and compassion to share my journeys with others. Yes, I am a transgender man, but I am more than my label. I wear many hats. Transgender is just a characteristic of me that is woven throughout my fabric. I was never meant to fit into any one box or wear any one hat. I was meant to connect the boxes and form a giant puzzle out of them. I am Link, the guy who connects people together. I am a visionary. I am meant to share my story with others to inspire hope, a true testimony that anything is possible. I am a parent. I am a son. I am a partner. I am a student. I am a leader. I am a friend. I am a survivor.
I am a good person. I am me, and this is my story.